Well, I've only practiced a few days on hard courts. I had to take a week off after Wimbledon, which was important to sort of recharge the batteries. And always excited to coming back here to Canada. And I've had some good success here in Toronto before, and I'm feeling well. No injuries, no problems so far. But it's going to be a long stretch of a lot of hard court tennis, and I hope I hope I can start well here.
Obviously, going on to Wimbledon 2 weeks since that amazing final. How do you feel now you're not Wimbledon champion?
Well, it changes a little bit, I guess, but then at the same time, I'm still five-time Wimbledon champion, maybe not the defending champion anymore, but, it's okay. I think it's important to get a couple of tournaments, again under my belt. So my last tournament is not Wimbledon anymore, it's, another tournament, and that will help me to get over the loss, really.
It was an amazing match. I've been talking about it, about one of the best in history. I guess no consolation for you, is that, or?
Well, maybe in the long run, a little bit. I think it was a great match. I did enjoy it very much. It was a high quality, very very fair play, with on the best center court in the world. So I do definitely appreciate the moment and everything. It was a heartbreaker in the end, for me, obviously losing it. But in tennis, there always needs to be a winner. So there's never going to be a draw, where you hug each other in the end and say, "Well played," But it was okay, and I got over it, which was I think very important for me as well.
Obviously, some people are saying that sort of Rafa is kind of the unofficial #1 now because he won the French and Wimbledon. What are your thoughts on that?
There is never really an unofficial #1 because it's over a 365-day period, thing that goes on. So, of course, he's won now 2 unbelievable tough tournaments to win, Paris and Wimbledon, and usually whoever wins that is supposed to be #1. I agree to some degree, but I've had a very good end to the season last year where I won the Masters, the US Open, and I've played very consistent at the beginning of the year. So it's hard to snatch #1 position. He knows that since 3 or 4 years. He's definitely got a great chance, in the next few weeks and months to come, depending on how I play and he plays. So we'll see what happens, but I'll try to defend my #1 position, that's for sure.
Is that one of your biggest sort of motivations at the moment for the rest of the season, to stay #1 and keep that edge?
Sure, it's been my goal since a long time to try to keep it for every week possible, as long as I've got the streak going for myself. But then also, huge now are the Olympic Games for me and the US Open looking ahead, just now the next couple of months. So that's really where my big focus is on.
Okay, yeah. So do you think it's more, you've had a great season, obviously, but do you think it's more a question just Rafa's just picked his level up a bit more?
Yeah, I think Rafa's played very consistent since the beginning of the year. Usually always struggled a little bit after Paris. He always had a tough time winning tournaments at the end of the season. This year is different, he was able to win 2 grass court tournaments for the first time in his life, so that makes a huge difference for him. But then also at the beginning of the season, he started well playing the semis in Australia. He played well in Indian Wells and Miami, made the semis and the finals, and his clay court game has been again supreme. So put that all together, he's had a rock solid season, and he's got even more possibilities to the end of the season. So it's going to be very interesting to see, but he's definitely improved as a player, no doubt.
But do you feel you've got the edge on the hard courts, especially the way you did last year and the season that you had?
Well, it's up to me now to prove it. I definitely feel very confident on hard court, but so do other players. But I think with all the success I've had over the years, I definitely know that if things start to click and I start to play very well, I'll be very, hard to beat. And now Djokovic has been very good as well on hard courts the last season, so we might be almost like the 2 favorites in a way, even though Rafa obviously has, all the game as well to do very, very well.